Hello, beat makers and music lovers, Ghanaians, and people all over the world. I wanted to do a remake of Sarkodie's Non Living Things. It's a very emotional song and it's a very simple beat to make. So it's three progressions in the melody, and it's just one melody, and the drums are very strong. So if you're learning how to make beats, you could just follow me and do exactly as I do. If you're advanced, there's probably something that one or two things that you could learn. And this, I mean, it's a very simple beat, and you wonder how they were able to bring the emotion to such a very simple beat. But like they say, big things come in very small packages, right? So don't forget to subscribe. This is Target Beats. I'm gonna run you through very simple beats by Sarkodie featuring Oxlade. The song is blowing up right now. Go and check out the video. The video was shot in Accra, Ghana, my country. I recognize some of the places that it was shot. So let me just shut up right now and go into the beat. So this is the melody. Very simple melody. Bum, 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 bum. Very, very simple. And then it loops. Dun, 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 dun. So really the dynamism comes in the drums and the arrangement of the drums, and then the transition effects, right? And then there were a few vocal loops, which I didn't have the vocal loops, so I had to use a whistle to create the vocal loops. If you know how to put in um, your what do you call it, your delays and all of that, and your reverbs, then you are able to create that ambience that you need. So let me just shut up and we go into the beat, like I said. So we selected our samples very well from the beginning. We chose the samples, and one of the first things that we started with was this. I'm gonna play just that so that you can hear it. So was this. You can hear that in the song, and it has this reverby effect. But luckily for me, I didn't have to tweak it because I already had the sample that gave me that sound. Great. So the next thing that I added was an 808 rim, which sounds like this. Very subtle, very subtle, very subtle. You don't hear it loud, but it creates that effect. And then the next thing that we wanted to add was this. Great. And then we went on to add this. You can follow as I go, and then you add. And then we added some claps, just to give it that. It also has that reverby at the back. And great, 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 great. Great. You see, it has the reverb, but I chose a much subtle pitch so that you don't hear much of the reverb. So here's how it actually sounds naturally. You can hear. And then we added some more instruments. This is an afro. If you're very familiar with the afro rhythm from Ghana, West Africa, we have this, the normal pa 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 pa. So it's a 2 2 and a 3, right? 2 2 3 and a 1, right? So pa 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 pa. You fill in the first, you fill in the fourth, you leave 2 spaces and you fill in the next, and you leave 3 spaces, you fill the next, and then you leave 1 space and you just loop that over and over. So that's what I did here. Kudu, 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 kudu. That's the normal West African sound, right? So I'm sure he wanted to maintain the elements of Afro in the beat. And then the next thing that we went to adding, or the next thing that I had in the beat was this. So it was just a rim, really, but we did the same pa 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 just to make it stronger, because you want, with the West African beats, you want them to sound louder and you want them to sound sweeter. So this sort of like a delayed rim, so it plays together with the clap, and then we added just a dynamism at here and there. So the next thing that we added was this. The same, right? It's the same. Just to give it that feeling, Sometimes you need to double the instruments, and then at one place, one thing plays, and then maybe in the chorus, most of the time, you add in more of the instruments playing the same thing, right? Just to make it sound louder and sweeter. This is the kick, a very heavy kick, I went into the mixer and then tweaked in the kick a bit just to give it that feeling, just so that when you hear it, it kicks your heart and you feel it strong. Yeah, basically. So then we did the tambourine, right? Great. We did a tambourine. So the tambourine is just one. We mixed a lot of tambourines because when you listen to the beat, the original beat from Sarkodie and Oxlade, you hear all of these things, and we did a reverb also there. So yeah, we did a metal clap which has the reverb on it. Yeah. So the next thing we wanted to add was a wood block. Great. This beat had a lot of reverb instruments. That's what I realized. And so there were a lot of instruments because I think the beat maker wanted to bring out the emotion in the song. So he added this wood block that has a lot of reverb and delay in it. I was lucky to have the original instrument. And yeah, there's a tambourine and a bell, just to give the effects that we want. So yeah, and then we added another tambourine again. The tambourines have different sounds, so I use different samples, different VST of tambourine. And then this is the melody, right? It's just a basic purity, and then I used a vintage piano. So the piano and the vintage EP. I could have been more complex and gone into omnisphere and used or contact and used a better piano, and this is a sub bass, right? We use the sub bass. Great. It's just a simple melody, you can see. And the bass is not too much in the song. The bass comes in just in the chorus. So that's it. And then the last pattern that we added, like I told you, the whistle to create the vocal samples and to create the vocal effects, right? So you see it has a lot of reverby and choir has this vintage sound. And so we're going to play everything together just so you have an idea of how they all sound when they come together. So this, you can see the tambourine and the piano starts the song. And let's just loop to a place where everything is playing. Good. So here everything is playing. We're going to take each track by itself so that you hear how each sounds when they come in one by one, right? So yeah, pardon me. So this is how they sound. We're just gonna solo this track. Good. Good. And then we added this. So you see that we added the African drums and more of that. Like I told you, we doubled it with a rim just to make it sound louder. You can feel it. It has more energy and more vibe as we add them. And then we added more of it, like I told you. So in the first two bars, I didn't add then now it's triple, right? And then we add the kick. So it's more of a vibe. You can feel the vibe, right? And I think one thing that we could have added to make it more spicy was to add like a string, you know, like a qua string, just to hold the melody together. But I didn't have much time. I was doing this and I had to rush for a meeting. So yeah, basically. And then the keyboard is gonna come in. You hear it? So it's a pretty simple beat by Oxlade and Sarkodie featuring Oxlade. The song is blowing up right now. You go and check it. And I'm making this beat also probably downloadable for anybody who wants to download. Feel free to subscribe to the channel. It's Target Beats. You subscribe here on YouTube. Go to Facebook, follow us, and go to Instagram and follow us. I'll bring you more breakdowns of beats, and we out. Target Beats.